The first three notes that we'll be learning on flute are D, C, and B flat in the middle of the treble clef staff. D is our first note. Again, from the previous section, we learned where our fingers go on each key. D uses a lot of them, starting with the right hand. No pinky. That's key. If you put your pinky down, you can't play a D. It won't come out. It'll come out as a different note. No pinky, ring finger, middle finger, index finger. So all three of these guys are down. And remember, your thumb is still pressing down to the bottom of the flute. In the left hand, skip this pinky key, ring finger, middle finger. First finger is up. So on either side, we have our pinky and our index finger are up. They're not being used. And our thumb is down on the large key. So we have thumb down on the large key, 2 in the left hand, 3 in the right hand, and no pinky. This is our fingering for D. If you're having some difficulty getting this note out, it might be due to the fact that you have an open hold flute like mine. Do you notice that these two and these three, with the exception of this one covered, are open? You can do a lot of really cool things with open holes, and there are definitely advantages, but one of the disadvantages is trying to cover them, especially as a beginner. It's difficult. So if the note isn't coming out, look at your hands and make sure that they're really covering the holes. If I don't cover one, like maybe this one, if I leave it open, the note doesn't really work. Really, it must be covered. This note takes some practice, but it is definitely used quite often in all flute repertoire. The second note is much easier to play, to get out. It's actually exactly the opposite of a D with the fingers that we use. It only requires the index finger in the left hand and the pinky in the right hand. All of these guys are open, so here is where our points of stability really come in handy. If we don't have them, our flute is going to fall on the floor, and that would be really bad. So fleshy part of the left finger, thumb. Take the advantage of the fact that you get to use this pinky for support, and support on the lip plate as well, because we really don't have many keys down to hold the flute. This is a C. Our last note we're going to learn is a B flat. To play a B flat, you want to use the left first pointer finger down, the left thumb down, the first pointer finger in the right hand down, and the pinky down as well. So this one's a little strange. You have 2 fingers down in each hand. Here, 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 and here. B flat. Side note, when we're not using fingers, like for the D, these are pressed down, but for the C, these fingers could be anywhere. It's best to keep them close to the keys, but not touching the keys. When we do more difficult things that involve a lot of fingerings and a lot of notes really quickly, it's very hard to play in time if your fingers are all the way up here and then they have to go all the way down. So the easiest and best and cleanest solution is to keep your fingers slightly hovering over the keys, but not pressing on the keys. For example, when we play a C, we have these 2 fingers down, right? The first index finger in the left hand, the pinky in the right hand, and that's it. The rest of the fingers stay really, really low on the flute, hovering over the keys. This would be an example of proper posture. This would be an example of not very proper posture. My fingers are way too far out of the keys, and if I have to play a C to a D, there's a huge jump. Whereas if they're closer, much easier. There you have the first 3 notes.